Crystal Howell was suddenly alone. The 17-year-old moved her friends into her dad's North Carolina mountainside cabin. Many say it was a non-stop party zone, complete with a newly installed stripper pole.
Never a dull moment. Not a dream, but like something you wouldn't imagine.
And where was her dad, Michael? Crystal first told friends he was away on business. Then she said he committed suicide. But 3 weeks after her friends moved in, Crystal made a move of her own to her mother's house in Augusta, Georgia. So when she took off, did she say you guys can still live here?
Yeah, she told me we could stay up there and that she would pay for the electric and that if we needed help with food or anything to contact her. She said I'll be back after my birthday.
But before she left, Crystal made one perplexing demand, asking her friends to follow one rule while she was gone. Do not go in the shed. Crystal packed her belongings into a U-Haul, withdrew at least $3,000 from her dad's bank account, and drove off in his orange Land Rover. The very next day, Crystal's friend Summer broke that one important rule and walked right into a nightmare.
She had this pinball machine downstairs and she had told us that we could sell it. We were bringing it back because we didn't end up selling it. So we were bringing it back and I was like, why would we move it all the way back downstairs? So we just popped the lock off of the shed. You could smell it as soon as you opened the door. It was awful.
You opened it and you said the smell was the first thing.
Yeah, the smell was the first thing. I just opened it like this and I was standing right about here and there was one blue bin in this corner and I just walked in, I looked and that was all I needed to know. He was like folded like this, down in it, like that. And you could see like this part of his head was blown off.
Horrified, Summer says she thought the body may have been a party goer from the blowout they had 2 weeks before, then quickly realized no, it was Crystal's father. And so at that point, you guys just ran.
We immediately left.
Terrified, Summer went directly to the Haywood County Sheriff's Office. In those moments, did you think she had done that?
Yes, I did. I thought she was trying to frame me.
You?
Yes, that was initially what I thought. I was scared.
Because she's nowhere to be found and you're on the property.
Yeah, it looked bad.
Did she have access to a gun?
Her father owned a gun. She had told me that he gave her the gun so that she could have protection, and she sold it to my dad for $20. That's another reason that made me think she's trying to frame me.
So where was Crystal? The North Carolina authorities were looking for her, but she was long gone. Crystal had made it to her hometown in Georgia.
I was on my way to work and I actually saw the car in the parking lot, and I pulled over, talked to her. She wasn't her normal self. She was not wanting to be touched when you tried to hug her.
It was weird. It was really uncomfortable. She looked like she had no soul. She looked like there was nobody in there.
In the conversation?
No conversation, really. She said hello, and that was basically it.
Christina and Sierra said their goodbyes to Crystal. Little did they know what had been done and what was to come. Just hours later, the authorities found Crystal Howell sleeping at a local motel and took her into custody. What was the scenario when you first rolled up?
She was very quiet to begin with, and was acting, and when I say acting, I do mean acting, because you could tell she was trying to act like she didn't know what was going on and that she was just innocent. I could tell it was a put on.
Investigators soon interrogated Crystal.
I was able to watch live as they were talking to her, and just her demeanor, the way she was just nonchalant about everything, it would send chills through your spine. I mean, it just very cold-hearted.
Crystal Howell was charged with first-degree murder. When Christina learned what her youngest daughter had done, she went right to the station. Did you get to talk to her in the police station?
She gave me a hug and she said I didn't mean to do it. That's the only thing she said.
Crystal soon confessed to the murder. She tells police as her father slept on the sofa, she shot him in the head with his own gun. She then moved his body into the shed and moved her friends into the house. She took approximately $12,000 from her father's bank account and used a cell phone to search how long a body takes to decompose.
That's all I could see is her blowing his head off. That's all I could see. I didn't think that she was capable of that.
So the how was clear, but what about the why?
She was the kind of person that you could easily predict at one point was going to be in serious trouble if we just had no idea she could turn a gun on her own father.
While in custody, Crystal was diagnosed with several mental disorders. Many believed it was her untreated mental issues, a subject her parents had always been on opposite sides of that caused her to snap.
He wanted a solution that didn't involve drugging her. And as wonderful a thought as that was, and unfortunately, I think cost him his life.
Could it have been prevented?
I think had she been treated and medicated from 8, 9, 10 years old, maybe her brain may have functioned in a different way. She was not given that opportunity. So as a parent, I failed in that aspect.
Crystal Howell took a plea deal and was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Family and friends are now left to pick up the pieces and try to make sense of the senseless. Do you have any anger or resentments toward her?
I do have a little resentment. I was working on fixing my relationship and then she just took him away.
What would Crystal want people to know about her?
She's not a monster.
No, she's not a monster, but she needed help that she didn't get.
I need to know why she did it. Because she not only ruined her father's life by killing him, she ruined a lot of people that loved her life. It's something everybody has to live with. Not fair.